all you cool cats and kittens. I have to be like the 1,000th YouTuber that has made that joke. If you don't get that joke, it's from Tiger King, and it's no joke. So today we are gonna try some products that I don't think I like, that I'm pretty sure are regrets, but I wanna give them one more shot. So honestly, when I was planning this video, I was just going to do a product regrets video, just saying, these are products I don't like, that's that. But I thought about it, and I'm like, you know what? Some of these are more expensive. I wanna make sure that I really don't like them. So I'm gonna give them one more shot. We're gonna do a wear test at the end of the day. All right, so I'm already SPF'd, moisturized. I even have kind of a glowy primer on. We're gonna try the one that inspired me to do this video in the first place, the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection foundation. This one I did buy with my own money. I had the shade Light 2. If you recall, I tried this quite a few months ago in a video along with like 4 other new foundations. So I tried 5 foundations, did wear tests for each. It was great. This was one of them. And I think when I ranked the foundations at the end, this might've been the lowest. I love the packaging. I think it is so pretty. The frosted glass, it just feels luxe. However, I just feel like it made my skin look older than it was. It was kind of crepey. It just didn't look good. So I tried to make sure I had plenty of moisture on my skin, nothing drying, because I think that is only gonna help this situation. So it's a little bit thinner of a formula. We're just gonna dive right in. It's also a little bit light for me, so that doesn't help the situation. It definitely covered some, but you can definitely still see a little bit of my redness. I don't mind seeing a little bit of redness. That's typically, I do a lighter coverage foundation anyway. I think I'm realizing though that this is a thinner formula, and sometimes I don't like that, which sounds funny because a lot of the things I use are lighter coverage, but sometimes when something is so thin, for whatever reason, the pigment as it spreads out, it just grabs onto weird spots on my skin, even if I don't necessarily have dry patches, because I really don't have any dry patches on my skin right now, knock on wood. But for whatever reason, sometimes thinner formulas like this just don't look good on my skin the way they do, I guess, on other people, because I do feel like this is one of those things that a lot of people like this foundation. I think I'm realizing what it is. At least upon first application, and this is how I remembered feeling back then, I just feel like it's not doing anything for my skin. So it's kind of covering, but I have a million foundations that cover, drugstore too. It's lightweight. You can find a million cheaper ones that are lightweight. And on top of that, it's just not making my skin look healthier. And I guess as I say that out loud, that's always my goal. I want my skin to look healthy. And so when I'm putting something on that I feel like is just not doing much other than covering, you know, it doesn't let my skin breathe. It just looks black. It looks flat. It looks, and I don't even know, I mean, it's kind of matte, right? I mean, it's certainly not like glowy, but I wouldn't say it's crazy mattifying either. So for me, it's just, I just don't enjoy it. I'm glad I tried it again because it has been a while, but we're gonna see how this wears as well, because right now, as you can see, there's a little bit of my redness peeping through, but nothing bad. It doesn't look awful and cakey yet, but I couldn't build up any more coverage on my nose, and that's gonna bother me, but we're just gonna get through it, y'all. It's a super sunny day out right now, and it makes my heart so happy. So next thing we're gonna use is not necessarily a product that I don't love. It's more that I really just don't know how I feel about it, so I wanted to use it one more time. I wasn't reaching for it, but it's just one of those concealers I just don't know if I like. So it's the Colourpop No Filter Concealer. I have it in the shade Medium 20, which I like a little bit darker of a concealer. This one might be a little orange for me. We shall see, but I'm gonna do one side with a brush and one side with like my finger or maybe a sponge, we'll see. But I know a lot of people, I feel like no one uses this as a concealer. Everyone uses it as like a foundation. Like they'll just kind of dot it. I know Andrea Mattiliano uses it that way too. But I feel like no one's actually using it for its intended purpose, if you will, on the under eyes. So I don't know. I just feel like it made the area look a little dry. Do you see that? It definitely covered, but it just looks a little bit dry. Let's try it with just the sponge on this side. But it definitely, I mean, you can see a big difference. The consistency actually kind of reminds me of my favorite Benefit Cakeless Concealer that I love. It's a very similar, almost like gel-like consistency, which I prefer. I like that. No brush, Jess. Maybe the sponge will kind of fix that dryness problem. Maybe, and we'll go ahead and cover my nose with what's remaining there because it definitely needed it. Okay, so it definitely, in my opinion, looks better with the sponge when it comes to dryness, but obviously the coverage is a little higher with the one with the brush. So it kind of, you're picking whichever is the least of two evils for you, whether you worry more about like crepiness and dryness or whether you need more coverage. I think I would prefer less coverage if it means that it's gonna look a little less dry and crepey. You know what I mean? And so that's why I would prefer this over that, even though there's less hourglass coverage. Okay. For this one, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I certainly wouldn't buy this again. This is not wowing me, but I also don't think it's bad. I mean, that looks nice in my opinion. So this is one I could see myself keeping for a little while longer, putting in my vanity and like actually using. So the next product is a newer one. It's from Too Faced. It's their Turn Up the Light highlighting palette. And I have told you guys before in a video, I was so excited when I saw this. I thought it looked so gorgeous. It has like a kind of glowy, soft focus powder for like all over. Then it's got two different like true highlighters. One that's more like a traditional highlighter and one that's even more amped up with like glitter in it. The one with glitter in it I don't love, so I'm probably not gonna use today. I don't know, we'll see. But I wanted to show you the soft focus powder for sure. So we're gonna use this on the forehead. I just feel like it makes it look powdery. I really do. And not like in a, oh, it's loose powder kind of way. I just feel like it looks powdery. I don't know. And obviously powders are powders. They're going to look powdery to some degree, but I've tried plenty that are way better. In fact, I think it's supposed to be more like the Hourglass powder, but I don't know. I feel like the Hourglass one's a little bit better. I don't currently own it because honestly, I don't really reach for that kind of powder super often. I like them, but it's just one of those things that if I'm gonna powder, I might use a loose powder, you know, or like a special under eye powder. I also want to use the soft focus, however, on the under eye. I don't know that I've tried that, and I thought, well, maybe this will be a way I can use this up. So let's see. By the way, I removed my dip powder nails. These poor babies are like, thanks for the breather, but they need time. You know what I mean? It just looks okay. It just looks kind of dry. I would prefer, for sure, for an under eye powder, I would definitely prefer the number 7 Lift and Luminate. That one I feel like is like actually blurring. Not that this one's supposed to be blurring. I don't think it makes that claim. But that one is like blurring and it kind of flattens out the under eye. It's amazing, you guys. It's 13 bucks. You can get it on Target and Walgreens website. And I use it every day. And days like this where I'm like, I know my under eyes can look so much better. So it's okay there. Like if you own this, I think it's okay on the under eye. It's just not the best one that's out there. We'll try the highlighter here in a second. So let me get a little bit more makeup done and I'll pop back in with the blush. Next, we're gonna try the Covergirl Clean Fresh Cream Blush. I feel like this across the board has gotten very mixed reviews. People either really like it or really don't. When I first tried it, the first few times, I actually didn't mind it. The only thing that bothered me, I have the shade Butterflies and it's kind of metallic. And I don't like that, like at all. That's never what I want on my cheeks. It's just not. But I think all of the shades are metallic as I've done a little more research. So I'm gonna use my sponge and just tap a little on. When I've done it with my fingers, it literally takes see, it just looks splotchy. When I do it with my fingers, it looks splotchy too. It's just not a good cream blush, you guys. I can't, let me show you with my fingers. I feel like I'll tap a little bit on and you cannot you have no time to blend. Like it just doesn't, I don't like this product. This is getting decluttered. There's no reason to work this hard for a cream blush. There's so many, my favorite, I have quite a few. The Flower Beauty one, their blush bombs are my absolute #1 favorite. So we're gonna go back in with the Turn Up the Light palette and we're gonna use the Glow powder as our highlight today. I don't think this highlighter is bad. In fact, I think it's like the only saving grace in this palette, but is that really worth buying an entire palette for? No, because most highlighters look like this, I feel like. All right, next up is this IT Cosmetics Lash Blowout Mascara. I definitely wanted to use this one more time before it starts to go bad because I tried it a couple times and absolutely did not like it. So I'm so curious. Again, this is like a mixed review thing, but that mascara is maybe one of the most polarizing makeup items because everyone likes a different look for their lashes. You know what I mean? Some people like the more natural look. Some people like more volumized. Some people are just concerned about the curl. You know what I mean? So there's just so many facets to it that it's really hard to just straight up judge a mascara, but we're gonna give this another go. Maybe after it's dried out a bit, it's better. I like the wand. It's more of like a natural bristle wand, which is what I prefer. Looking better than I remembered it already, I will say. But this has been open for like 2 or 3 months. So at this point, you know, I won't want to wait this long for the mascara to work for me. You know what I mean? That's why like products like Lash Paradise and the Essence Lash Extension astound me because they're so good the day you open it. You know what I mean? They don't need that drying out period. Because yeah, this does not look terrible at all. But the first times I used this in that first month, it was nothing like this. So this is a long time to wait, 3 months for something to like actually be good. Plus, it's not like this is cheap. This is an expensive product. I don't know. I might use it more just to kind of use it up so I don't feel like it's wasted. But I would never buy this again, and I would never recommend it for all the reasons I just said. Okay, next up is a lip gloss. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna declutter. It's from House Laboratories, which is Lady Gaga's like makeup line. It's her Laureate gloss, and this one's in the shade Venus. I actually really like the way these look. They're really pretty, but the color just wears away. Like, it's so weird. And it's a little gloopy as it is, so even though the gloss is okay, for the color not to last, but the gloss to stay behind within like 30 minutes, it's so weird. So it's a really, really pretty color though, which is unfortunate. It's a little bit of a thicker gloss. It's certainly not the most comfortable gloss I own. So even if the color stayed, this would be one I could see eventually decluttering regardless. Let me show you what all this is looking like in daylight. So like the mascara looks fine, the gloss looks fine so far. You can't even see that blush, like it's barely there. The highlighter is popping, but I don't mind that. But I just feel like my skin generally doesn't look its best. I don't know, I feel like it's not coming across as well, but it's just not looking. I just feel like my skin can look so much better, and why, you know, that Pat McGrath stuff is so expensive. So we'll check in at the end of the day. We'll see what this is looking like. So I wanted to kind of quickly check in. Sorry, my toddler's napping, so I'm trying to be quiet because I'm about to go on a run because it is so nice out. And I was like, I know that going on a run is gonna ruin this wear test, but I figure, okay, I've had it on for like 4 hours now just to show you what it looks like. Right now, I just feel like, you see what I mean? Like, I just feel like my skin doesn't look its healthiest. The concealer looks okay. Again, not perfect, especially with that TooFaced powder. And if you recall, I put that TooFaced powder in my T-zone and it's already like oily. Now, I don't mind that, but I know like if you had oily skin, it's really not powdering in that way. And again, it's a soft focus powder. I don't think it's necessarily meant to be oil controlling, but it is something worth knowing about it. The blush still looks splotchy as could be. The highlight looks nice though, I have to say. And I do feel like the mascara is still holding a curl. Obviously that lip product was gone like in an hour. So I'll still check in at the end of the day, but just being aware that I will have gone on a run. So it'll be a little, and actually I'll be kind of interested to see it. Okay, it is after midnight. So this has been on for well over 12 hours. It's literally just like gone in some spots, both the concealer and the foundation. And these, like my nose typically, but like even in this area, and I didn't like, even though I went on a run, I wasn't sweating. It wasn't like hot out. The blush is kind of there, but y'all already know how I feel about that. The concealer, I just, like I said, it's okay, but I just don't think it's like revolutionary. So I think out of all of it, there's not really anything I'm dying to keep. I think I'm just gonna get rid of all of it because even the things that were okay, like the concealer, I just have better, and so why force myself to use it? Oh, another thing that I did notice at the mascara, there's like little black specks, so it did kind of pop down a little bit. None of it was great. I feel like I haven't really changed my mind. If anything, I've just become more resolute about how I feel about all of them. So this was fun. I feel like this is a healthy way for me to really take stock of what's still kind of lingering in my collection that I don't really like, but making sure that I don't like them, because the reality is a lot of times when I try a product and I don't like it, I don't obviously want to try it a bunch more, but I'll force myself to try it a couple more times to kind of make sure. But then I'll let it sit in my collection for months, and months will pass and I'll realize, wait, I know I didn't like this, but why didn't I like it? So this is kind of a good practice for me to do maybe a couple times a year, maybe even more often depending on how many, just to double check that I'm really not liking these products, you know? I hope this was helpful for you all. And if you did enjoy this style of video, definitely subscribe to catch more of my videos. I do 3 videos a week and sometimes I sneak in extra videos in there. Subscribing is free. It helps you find my videos a little bit more easily as they are uploaded. And other than that, I hope you'll say hi on social media. It's Jessica Braun everywhere, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.